welcome you to this installment of the Clay and Kobe Show, in which we introduce you to 3 new wines that are going to be released for our Cellar Club in early December. The Cellar Club release this time includes 3 wines, a white and 2 reds, which is appropriate for the winter season, and we're going to start off with the white wine. If I pour it for my friend and winemaker Kobe Parker Garcia. Tell me something about this wine, Kobe. It looks to be a Chardonnay.
Correct, it is. In 2013, we actually, for Claiborne Churchill, we did 2 Chardonnays, 2 very distinct Chardonnays. The Chardonnay that we released, that we are releasing in the shipment, it all comes from the Rigetti Vineyard, which is I'd say more of a newer planting here in the Edna Valley. It's probably about 8 years old, and it's in the northeast section of the Edna Valley. So,
I like the classic Chardonnay nose on this.
Definitely.
Not overstated, not over oaked. Excuse me. But
no, this is a kind of I would say a good kind of classic representation of the Edna Valley. You've got a lot of the tropical notes, but you have a nice underlying not oakiness to it, but structure. This wine is barrel fermented and mostly neutral oak barrels. There is 1 new barrel in there out of 10, but you'll find that this wine has a lot of good structure, lots of depth to it, but just a very inviting aromatic nose to it.
Well, Chardonnay, a food pairing with Chardonnay is an interesting thing. It depends completely on the style of Chardonnay. A Chardonnay with a good deal of rich fruit, as this one has, needs something rich to counteract that. And so you might think of something with a nice cream sauce, whether it's a chicken with sour cream and mushrooms or something like that. A little bit of a hearty dish with Chardonnay.
One side note on this Chardonnay as well is we only produced 115 cases, so
right.
You're only going to get 1 bottle each. So we apologize for that, but make sure you enjoy it with good family and friends. Clueless Red, Clay, tell us about the crossword puzzle and the idea behind this wine.
Well, some of you may know that one of my major hobbies, if not one of my major faults, is this addiction to crossword puzzles. I work crossword puzzles endlessly to the chagrin of my wife, and I have in recent years taken to constructing crossword puzzles, and it occurred to me 5 years ago perhaps, that we might make a wine with a crossword puzzle on the label, which if solved would tell you something about the wine inside the bottle. Well, so we did, and this is the last in a long line of clueless crossword puzzle wines and wine labels. The joke is that, of course, there's no room on a label for all the clues, and so we call the wine Clueless. And until you go on our website or email me to get the clues, you will remain clueless as well. This is the 2012 Clueless Red. It consists, I think, of 3 varietals, which you can only discover if you do the crossword puzzle and find those answers in the grid. As far as the flavors go, I think they're well developed, and there's a bit of spice in here.
No, definitely. This we held on to this wine a little bit longer for you guys. We really wanted this wine to evolve a little bit. I think the wine at first was very tight.
It was, yeah.
And not well integrated between the varietals in this, but I think this wine has really evolved into something really lush, really nice. It's got just really great dark fruit flavors to it, good acidity, and just an overall great blend. And,
well, the 3rd and final wine of this episode of the Clay and Kobe Show is a special wine, special to my heart at any rate. It's the Pinot Noir we call Runestone, and there's a long story behind that, which I for fear of boring you, can't go into. The lecture is about 2 hours long on runestones. Suffice it to say that a runic stone is an ancient Nordic artifact, and as some of you know, before I got into the wine business, I was a professor of Old Norse antiquities, and that's the origin of this label. The runestone, though, it occupies a very special place in our repertory of Pinot Noirs. Can you tell us something about that, Kobe?
Yeah, so the runestone is one of the most expensive wines we make, and I think it's one of the most special wines we make. We basically go through the cellar and select 8 to 10 barrels that we think have a unique or a special profile that fits the runestone. What's the profile, you might ask? Well, anything you'd want in Pinot Noir: silkiness, just great fruit structure, a little bit of nice French oak in there. So everything we're looking for in those components, we try and put into the bottle of runestone. So it's one of our most age-worthy wines. You know, it's fun to come back to these wines 10, 15 years later and watch these wines evolve in the bottle. With this vintage, we did 10 barrels, so we bottled about 173 cases. And it's a blend of the two vineyard sources that we work with. It's 65% from Wolf Vineyards and 35% from the Twin Creek Vineyards. So a very good representation of not only those two vineyards, but all the different clones we work with. It's got the 115, 667, 777, Martini, and 113. So it's got a good helping of the different clones.
Well, that wraps it up for today's Clay and Kobe show. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure and get a hold of these wines. They're in short supply, and so I would hasten to put your order in. Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.